All right. Well, let's get started with the important thing, which is the 1950s boomer trivia. That is what we are here for, and that is what matters tonight. So, welcome to those of you who are live, and welcome to those of you who are watching on the replay. We would love to have you live at some point, but if you cannot make it, replay is fine. You can always play. You can play just like you do any other, television game show. Just say it out loud. If you are live, though, however, it's so much fun. You get to compete against other people in the chat. And to do that, I'm going to read the question and the answers. And in the chat, you want to put in either the number 1, 2, 3, or 4. And that will register with the system. It will tell you who is right and who is the fastest. So you don't only want to be right, but you want to be the fastest. And tonight we are talking all about the 1950s. And even if you're not a boomer, there are a lot of things that you would just know, whether it's just history or, movies, books. I was thinking about you a lot, Wolfie, when I was doing some of this stuff. I was like, oh, Wolfie will like this one. So anyway, I'm excited about tonight. And on Thursday, we're doing Harry Potter. So you definitely want to be here for Thursday night. So Thursday night at 9:00, no matter what my daughter said in the last trivia, do not listen to her. It is this Thursday at 9:00, and we will be doing Harry Potter. After that, I think the next Monday is one's 80s. Oh no, the next one is next Monday is, so a week from tonight, is just general knowledge, just everything. And then Thursday is 80s rap. All right. And I am working on what's coming up in the future. I do know that on March 28th, we'll be doing baseball because that's opening day, and I love me some baseball. So we will be doing baseball history on March 28th. That's the only one that I have a definite date for. So if y'all have any ideas of what you want me to do, I've got some ideas what I'm going to do at the end of the month. But anyway, haven't done them yet. All right. Well, let me move myself down here and get ready. Whoops, hold on a minute. There we go. And we're going to get ready. So, everybody got your 1950s thinking cap on? All right. There's not many of you here, so hopefully they'll start joining us when they see that the trial thing is boring. All right. Oh, let me get prepared. And if I say something incorrectly, just know that I do. All right. First question. Who was the president of the United States at the beginning of the 1950s? Is it 1, JFK, which is John F. Kennedy, 2, Harry S. Truman, 3, Franklin D. Roosevelt, or 4, Dwight D. Eisenhower? Who was the president of the United States at the beginning of the 1950s? Who was it? Was it 1, John F. Kennedy, 2, Harry S. Truman, 3, Franklin D. Roosevelt, or 4, Dwight D. Eisenhower? My thing didn't pop up. Yes, there is no crying in baseball. I love baseball too. It's 2, Harry S. Truman. I'm just not seeing these things. My grandma named me that when you were little. Your favorite animal was a panda. Yes. I don't know. I was just seeing that. Whoops. My things weren't popping up. All right. Which movie released in 1955 starred James Dean as a troubled teenager? Is it one, The Wild One, two, Rebel Without a Cause, three, Giant, or four, East of Eden? Who was it? Was it? I mean, what? Who did James D. star as a troubled teenager? One, The Wild One. Two, Rebel Without a Cause. Three, Giant. Or four, East of Eden. Who was it? I mean, what? What was it? What movie? Let me see. Okay, we've got Amanda and Nick. Nick said hello, but Nick isn't answering. So, all right, Rebel Without a Cause. Very good. So we have, let's see, The Big Purple. Hello, Wild Rose. I thought I saw somebody else pop in here too. Um, I thought I did. Maybe not. Rebel Without a Cause. That is what James Dean. He was a sexy one, wasn't he? All right. What was the name of the first artificial Earth satellite launched by the Soviet Union in 1957? Was it one, Voyager 1, two, Sputnik 1, three, Explorer 1, or four, Apollo 11? What was the first artificial Earth satellite? Launched by the Soviet Union. What was that? Was it Voyager 1? Was it Sputnik 1, Explorer 1, or Apollo 11? What one? Oh, Living Lexi. You're in here. Yay. Sputnik. Sputnik 1. That's the artificial Earth satellite that was launched in the Soviet Union, uh, from the Soviet Union in 1957. I was thinking about you, Wolfie. Us doing all the moon landing stuff. Wolfie and I did some of that on my ASMR channel. All right. In 1954, the US Supreme Court ruled in which case that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional? Was it one, Roe versus Wade, two, Plessy versus Ferguson, three, Marbury versus Madison, or four, Brown versus Board of Education? Who was that? What was the case that was uh, public schools were segregated? Segregated public schools was unconstitutional. I'll get it. We'll see how well I can speak tonight. With me, it's just random. It's Brown versus Board of Education, number 4. That's who my mom, I remember my mom talking all about that, about the schools being segregated. See, by the time I came around, it wasn't weird. But I remember my mom saying that, yeah, it was segregated when she was in school. All right. Which iconic Disney theme park opened in 1955? Was it one, Walt Disney World, two, Euro Disney, three, Disneyland, or four, Disney Tokyo? Which iconic Disney theme park opened in 1955? Was it Disney World, Euro Disney, Disneyland, or Disney Tokyo? Disney World, Euro Disney, Disneyland, Disney Tokyo. And if you do not know these answers, guess. Because you might guess correctly. You can also do deduction, how to figure it out. My daughter's really good at that. All right. It's Disneyland. Disneyland opened in 1955. What is it? I had a neighbor from New Orleans who told me his school first unsegregated prom was in 19 seriously? In 1980? Wow. Wow. But you would say, though, New Orleans, that would you would kinda understand that. Alright, what was the best-selling novel of the 1950s written by Grace Metalici Melissus Militia Alicious, I'm guessing at the name. Well, I can't say it. 1, To Kill a Mockingbird, 2, The Catcher in the Rye, 3, Peyton Place, or 4, Lord of the Flies, and I am sorry that I just butchered all that. What is it? 1, To Kill a Mockingbird, 2, Catcher in the Rye, 3, Peyton Place, or 4, Lord of the Flies. What was that? A 1950s book novel written by Grace Metalicious. Metalicious? Peyton Place. It was Peyton Place. Yeah, Peyton Place. I did not read The Peyton Place. I've heard about it, but that was not a book I read. It was not on my reading list, and when I was younger, that was not something I was ever interested in. Now, as an adult, things are different, but as a young person, no. All right. Which war began in 1950 and ended in 1953? Which war began in 1950 and ended in 1953? Was it 1, World War II, 2, Vietnam War, 3, Suez Crisis, or 4, the Korean War? What lasted from the 1950 to 1953? What was it? World War II, Vietnam War, Suez Crisis, or Korean War? What war began in 1950 and ended in 1953? The World War II, Vietnam War, Suez Crisis, or the Korean War? Korean War. That's right. Oh, everybody got it right. Yay! Yay, the Korean War. Not a popular war. MASH. MASH, that's right, MASH. Was not a popular war. MASH was wonderful. Maybe I'll have to do that. I'll have to do, like, maybe a MASH trivia. There's a lot of trivia for that one. Who wrote the groundbreaking play Death of a Salesman, which premiered in 1949 and won a Pulitzer Prize in 1950? 1, Tennessee Williams, 2, Eugene O'Neill, 3, Edward Albee, or 4, Arthur Miller? Who wrote Death of a Salesman? Was it 1, Tennessee Williams, 2, Eugene O'Neill, 3, Edward Albee, or 4, Arthur Arthur Miller? I don't know why I am not talking well tonight. Arthur. I should know. Arthur. That's my grandfather's middle name, Arthur. It's 4, Arthur Miller. Arthur Miller wrote Death of the Salesman. And it premiered in 49 and it won the Pulitzer Prize in 1950. Yes, also wrote The Crucible, the story of the Salem witch trials. Now, The Crucible, I loved that one. All right, 1953. Who became the first woman to reach the summit of Mount Everest? Was it 1? Now I'm going to butcher these names. Okay. 1, Tenzing Norgay. 2, Sir Edmund Hillary. 3, Mary Anderson. Or 4, Junko Tabei. I think I said that right. Who was the first woman to reach the summit of Mount Everest? Is it 1, Tenzing Norgay, 3, Sir Edmund Hillary, 2, Sir Edmund Hillary, 3, Mary Anderson, or 4, Junko Tabei? Who was that? Who climbed Mount Everest, the first female to reach the summit of? It's Tenzing Norgay. I am horrible tonight. I apologize to everyone who is listening to me. My brain must not be clicking. It's Tenzing Norgay is the first female. That's amazing feat. Period. 1953. Impressive. All right. Which iconic rock and roll artist released Heartbreak Hotel in 1956? Was it 1, Little Richard, 2, Elvis Presley, 3, Chuck Berry, or 4, Buddy Holly? Who released Heartbreak Hotel in 1956? Little Richard, Elvis Presley, Chuck Berry, or Buddy Holly? And everybody either has this right or wrong. I believe everybody knows this one. Of course, we know who this is. How could we get Heartbreak Hotel wrong? Elvis Presley. Yay! Everybody got it right. Heartbreak Hotel was released in 1956 by the King, Elvis Presley. You know, I have something in here about Elvis Presley. I didn't want to have everything be so hard. Elvis Presley. All right. Who was the famous blonde bombshell actress and sex symbol of the 1950s? Was it 1, Marilyn Monroe, 2, Grace Kelly, 3, Elizabeth Taylor, or 4, Audrey Hepburn? Who was the blonde bombshell and sex symbol of the 1950s? 1, Marilyn Monroe, 2, Grace Kelly, 3, Elizabeth Taylor, or 4, Audrey Hepburn? Are you all going to get it right too? Maybe. Yep. Yeah, all of y'all answered the same. Okay, I should have not done them. It's so easy. Marilyn Monroe. The big thing is blonde. Blonde bombshell and sex symbol of the 1950s was Marilyn Monroe. Norma Jean. I should have done that. What was her real name? Norma Jean. Y'all knew that too, don't you? I'm sure you knew what that was. All right. What was the first color television show to be broadcast in the United States in 1951? Is it one, The Lone Ranger, two, The Ed Sullivan Show, three, The Rose Parade, or four, I Love Lucy? What was the first color television show to be broadcast in the United States in 1951? Was it one, The Lone Ranger, two, The Ed Sullivan Show, three, The Rose Parade, or four, I Love Lucy? What was first? Lone Ranger, Ed Sullivan, Rose Parade, or I Love Lucy? There's so many groundbreaking things. It's amazing to think about how far we have come. And just, I mean, this isn't that long ago, honestly. It's the Rose Parade. The Rose Parade was the first to be broadcast in color. Can you imagine when you've been used to seeing the parades, which the Rose Parade with all the flowers and stuff has always been black and white. And so your imagination, you have to, but then to see all of the colors and stuff of a parade, amazing. They had to have been just floored. All right. Which Alfred Hitchcock film released in 1954 starred James Stewart and Grace Kelly? Is it one, Vertigo, two, Rear Window, three, Psycho, or four, North by Northwest? What was the Alfred Hitchcock movie or film, maybe same thing, released in 1954 that was James Stewart and Grace Kelly? Was it one, Vertigo, two, Rear Window, three, Psycho, or four, North by Northwest? What was it? James Stewart and Grace Kelly? An Alfred Hitchcock movie that was released in 1954 starring them. One, Vertigo, two, Rear Window. That's it, Rear Window. And what's that? The Big Purple is the only one that got it right. So it was a harder one, huh? I like that movie. Rear Window. Good. I've seen all four of them. That was your that was your second guess. It's all right. All right. In 1952, who became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, serving until 1955? Was it one, Winston Churchill, two, Harold Macmillan, three, Clement Attlee, or four, Anthony Eden? Who was the Prime Minister in 1952 that served until 1955 in the UK? The Prime Minister of the UK. One, Winston Churchill. Two, Harold Macmillan. Three, Clement Attlee. Four, Anthony Eden. Who was it? Winston Churchill, Harold Macmillan, Clement Attlee, or four, Anthony Eden? Who was the Prime Minister of the UK from 52 to 55? Winston Churchill. Amanda Panda. Amanda Panda and the Big Purple. Good job. Amanda, you got it in there quick, too. Good job. I'm trying to put things that are not just the United States. So there'll be stuff when I do these more general that'll be overseas too. All right. What was the name of the first successful vaccine for polio that was announced in 1955? Is it one, Sabian vaccine, two, Pasteur vaccine, three, Jonas Salk vaccine, or four, Banting vaccine? The first successful vaccine for polio. Is it one, Sabian, two, Pasteur, 3 Jonas Salk, or 4 Banting? What was the first successful vaccine for polio? I got my polio shot mark. The younger kids, they don't have the mark, but if you're older, you got that mark. It's Jonas Salk vaccine, the Jonas Salk vaccine. No, because like my kids, when they gave them the vaccine, it's just drops that they put under your tongue. But and now, yes, yeah, got that big circle right mark on your arm. All right. Who wrote The Old Man and the Sea, which won the Pulitzer Prize for fiction in 1953? Is it 1, William Faulkner, 2, John Steinbeck, 3, F. Scott Fitzgerald, or 4, Ernest Hemingway? Who wrote The Old Man and the Sea? Who wrote The Old Man and the Sea? Was it Faulkner, Steinbeck, Fitzgerald, or Hemingway? Who wrote The Old Man and the Sea? 1, William Faulkner, 2, John Steinbeck, 3, F. Scott Fitzgerald, or 4, Ernest Hemingway? Ernest Hemingway. Ernest Hemingway wrote The Old Man and the Sea. That's another good one. There's so many good books. Now, you don't hear about all these great books. They're not writing them anymore. Sad. We're losing that. All right. Which actress won an Academy Award for her performance in the 1954 film The Country Girl? Is it 1, Katharine Hepburn, 2, Grace Kelly, 3, Elizabeth Taylor, or 4, Audrey Hepburn? What actress won the Academy Award for the 1954 film The Country Girl? Katharine Hepburn, Grace Kelly, Elizabeth Taylor, or Audrey Hepburn? Who was in The Country Girl? And I don't know if I have seen that, actually. I probably have, but I just don't remember. And that is not my brain damage. That is just I don't remember things like that, names of movies and stuff. It's 2, Grace Kelly. Oh, she's so beautiful. Grace Kelly. Well, all of them were. Grace Kelly was the actress that won the Academy Award for her performance in Country Girl, The Country Girl in 1954. Very good. So Living Lexi, and Amanda Panda. Very good. All right. What popular dance craze characterized by twisting the hips and arms became a sensation in the early 1960s, but had its roots in the late 1950s? So it started in the 50s, but became popular in the 60s. Was it 1, the twist, 2, the Lindy Hop, 3, the jitterbug, or 4, Charleston? What was it? The dance got its origination in the 50s, but it came really popular in uh, in the 60s. 1, the twist, 2, the Lindy Hop, 3, the jitterbug, or 4, the Charleston. What is it? I'm checking on my YouTube internet stuff. It's the twist. The twist started its roots were in the 50s. So it started in the 50s, but in the 60s, it was massive. Everybody knows how to do the twist. All right. Which groundbreaking sitcom first aired in 1951 featuring a Cuban band leader and his zany wife? Is it 1, The Honeymooners, 2, Leave It to Beaver, 3, I Love Lucy, or 4, Father Knows Best? Who was it? Or what show? What show was featuring a Cuban band leader and his zany wife? The Honeymooners, Leave It to Beaver, I Love Lucy, or Father Knows Best. Don't change it. Wolfie. Okay, Wolfie, I know you know this. I know you know this because everybody did. All right, we'll pretend like Wolfie did not hit a 1. She knows it. I know everybody knows this one because it's Lucy. Who doesn't know Lucy, the zany wife? Zany wife, Lucy. That's so funny. That's so funny. All right. The first NATO Secretary General, appointed in 1952, was from which country? The first NATO Secretary General, appointed in 1952, was from which country? 1, the United States, 2, the United Kingdom, 3, France, or 4, Canada. Where was the first NATO Secretary General from? What country was the first NATO Secretary General from? So 1, the United States, 2, the United Kingdom, 3, France, or 4, Canada? Oh my goodness. I have a typo up there. I can't even spell the United States. Sorry, guys. I do know how to spell the United States. See, I got United underneath there. It's United Kingdom. It's the untied states. Untied states of the United Kingdom. United Kingdom. Sorry. I do all these myself. And I do not have anybody that goes behind me. All right. Which famous novel by J.D. Salinger, a classic of teenage rebellion, was published in 1951? Is it 1, To Kill a Mockingbird, 2, Catcher in the Rye, 3, On the Road, or 4, Fahrenheit 451? What was the famous novel by J.D. Salinger, which was a classic of teenage rebellion? What was that? To Kill a Mockingbird, 2, Catcher in the Rye, 3, On the Road, or 4, Fahrenheit 451? What was it? Two, Catcher in the Rye. Very good. Catcher in the Rye. It was the Teenage Rebellion. Classic Teenage Rebellion. Mhm. That's a classic novel right there. I think that's one that we had to read in school, if I'm remembering correctly. All right. In 1958, NASA was established in response to the space race with which country? 1, the Soviet Union, 2, Japan, 3, Germany, or 4, China. In 1958, NASA was established in response to the space race with which country? Is it 1, Soviet Union, 2, Japan, 3, Germany, or 4, China? Well, hello, Mike H. How are you? Love you too. You need to play. NASA was established because of the space race. Again, Wolfie and I, we know this one. 1, Soviet Union. It was Soviet Union. And we had a massive space race with them. They got oh my phone's buzzing. It just made me jump. I have to go to my ASMR channel. It's ASMR on Cloud 9. You can go over there, and Wolfie and I have some stuff about the moon. All right. Which iconic figure won 4 gold medals in the 1956 Melbourne Olympics, revolutionizing swimming with his techniques? Who was it? Was it 1, Murray Rose, 2, Michael Phelps, 3, Mark Spitz, or 4, Johnny Weissmuller? Who won 4 gold medals in 1956 in the Melbourne Olympics for his swimming? Now, this is where you use deduction. Who was it? 1, Murray Rose, 2, Michael Phelps, 3, Mark Spitz, or 4, Johnny Weissmuller. It's 1, Murray Rose. Murray Rose was, I I want to say Australian, if I remember. My brain doesn't work. I think he's Australian, an Australian Olympian. Don't quote me on that one, though. I could be wrong. He was a big swimmer. Michael Phelps was not even thought of back then. He's a baby. All right. What was the name of the first commercially successful videotape recorder released in 1956? Was it 1, Video 2000, 2, VHS, 3, Betamax, or 4, Ampex? What was the first commercially successful videotape recorder? Was it 1, Video 2000, 2, VHS, 3, Betamax, or 4, Ampex? What was the first commercially successful videotape recorder? Video 2000, VHS, Betamax, or Ampex? And I've had 2 of the 4. I have owned 2 of the 4. Ampex. Ampex was the first commercially successful videotape, and it was released in 1956. I have had a Betamax and I've had a VHS. Betamax, my dad always liked to get the best, and you would have thought it was Betamax because their quality was the better. They had smaller tapes and everything, but they were also more expensive. So people went with the cheaper VHS, and that's why that got popular. All right. What groundbreaking musical premiered on Broadway in 1957 featuring the music of Leonard Bernstein and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim? Is it 1, West Side Story, 2, The Sound of Music, 3, Oklahoma, or 4, My Fair Lady? What was the musical that was in 1957 that featured Leonard Bernstein and Stephen Sondheim? Bernstein, yeah, who knows? What was the musical? West Side Story, The Sound of Music, Oklahoma, or My Fair Lady? If you do not know these answers, guess. Just guess. It's one. The West Side Story. West oh, Big Purple. Big Purple did it again. Very good. The West Side Story. All of those are, like, super good. And right at this moment, all I can hear is Oklahoma. Okay. Spelling it out. I learned how to spell Oklahoma by the song. All right. In 1958, what novel by Vladimir Nabokov, something like that, was published in the United States, sparking controversy for its explicit content? Was it one, On the Road, two, Lolita, three, Catcher in the Rye, or four, Brave New World? What was Vladimir Nabokov published in the United States that sparked controversy because it was very explicit? Is it one, On the Road, two, Lolita, three, Catcher in the Rye, or four, Brave New World? What was it? What did you think was 1960s? I don't remember because I have short-term memory loss. I can't remember what that last question was. All right, Lolita. Lolita was I remember people talking about that. Lolita was like, now we would go, okay. That's so racy. All right. The first successful kidney transplant was performed in 1954. Who was the recipient? Was it one, the patient's spouse, two, the patient's mother, three, the patient's identical twin, or four, the patient's grandfather? The first successful kidney transplant was performed in 1954. Who was a recipient? So of the patient, you had the patient's spouse, the patient's mother, number 2, patient's, identical twin, or the patient's grandfather. Who was it? Who received the kidney transplant? It was the identical twin. The identical twin. Good job, Wolfie and Wild Rose. Very good. The identical twin was the one. So he they donated their kidney to the twin. Now just think, I mean, they do those transplants all the time. All the time. All right. What famous fast food restaurant was founded in 1955? Was it 1, Taco Bell, 2, McDonald's, 3, KFC, or 4, Burger King? What famous fast food restaurant was founded in 1955? Was it 1, Taco Bell, 2, McDonald's, 3, KFC, or 4, Burger King? Which fast food restaurant was founded in 1955? Taco Bell, McDonald's, KFC, or Burger King? Fast food restaurant. It's 2, McDonald's. McDonald's was founded in 1955. Nope. It had been around for a while. Now they're everywhere. They are all over the world. Who would have thought back in 1955 that they would have restaurants all over the world, literally. Mm. All right. What US highway was designated or in 1956 as one of the original routes of the interstate highway system, and its final segment was opened in 1986? Is it 1, Route 66, 2, Interstate 95, 3, Interstate 80, or 4, Interstate 5? What is the highway that started in 56 and ended in 86? We started building it in 80s and in 56. They finished it in 86. It's a long time. It's a long road. Interstate 80. Interstate 80. It goes from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. They started it in the West and they ended it in the East. I remember, if I'm remembering right. I could be backwards. Who knows? Interstate 80. A long time to finish that road. All right. In 1956, Morocco gained independence from which European colonial power? Is it 1, Spain, 2, Portugal, 3, Italy, or 4, France? In 1956, Morocco gained independence from which European colonial power? 1, Spain, 2, Portugal, 3, Italy, or 4, France? (1956). They got their independence. Mm, France. For France. They gained independence from France in 56. A lot was happening in 56. A lot was happening in the 50s. A lot happened in the 50s. This is teeny tiny itty little bit of what happened in the 50s. I will do more Beamer stuff because there's plenty. All right. Who was the first woman to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean in 1952? Is it 1, Jacqueline Cochran, 2, Harriet Quimby, 3, Bessie Coleman, or 4, Amelia Earhart? Who was the first woman to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean? Is it 1, Jacqueline Cochran, 2, Harriet Quimby, 3, Bessie Coleman, or 4, Amelia Earhart? Who was the first female to fly solo nonstop? There's controversy on this one, but we're going to go by what we were taught. Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart is the first woman to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic Ocean in 1952. There is some talk about, and I can't remember who it is, that somebody had done it before 1952, but you know how that goes. Who knows? especially back then. I mean, records and stuff, and it was difficult for females. All right. What Caribbean island nation became the first in the Western Hemisphere to establish a communist government in 1959? Was it one, Puerto Rico, two, Jamaica, three, Haiti, or four, Cuba? What Caribbean island nation became the first in the Western Hemisphere to establish a communist government in 1959? One, Puerto Rico, two, Jamaica, three, Haiti, or four, Cuba? The What Caribbean island is the first in the Western Hemisphere to become communist government? One, Puerto Rico, two, Jamaica, three, Haiti, or four, Cuba? It's four, Cuba. Cuba was the first in the Western Hemisphere to become communists. Thank goodness we don't have many. Oh, Caribbean island. Get it in faster, Mike. Gotta hit that number in there quick. All right. What was the federal minimum wage in 1957? Is it one, 75 cents, two, $3, three, $2, or four, $1? What was the federal minimum wage in 1957? Was it one, 75 cents, two, $3, three, $2, or four, $1? What was the federal minimum wage in 1957? One, 75 cents, two, $3, three, $2, or four, $1? Minimum wage. The federal minimum wage of 57. $1. It's for $1 was the minimum wage in 57. Can you imagine? Mm. I remember my grandfather said that he bought my grandmother's diamond ring for her wedding ring, her diamond ring, and he spent $1.25, and it took him like 6 months to pay it. All right. In 1952, a gallon of gas would cost you one, 50 cents, two, 33 cents, three, 27 cents, or four, 12 cents. In 1952, a gallon of gas would cost you one, 50 cents, two, 33 cents, three, 27 cents, or four, 12 cents. How much would a gallon of gas cost you in 1952? Now take any of those numbers and add $3, $4 to it. 1952, a gallon of gas. 27 cents. I remember when I was driving, I remember it being under $1. I remember it being under $1. Uh, it was 27 cents in 1952 for a gallon of gas. But minimum wage, still expensive. And still, it is all right, this is the last one. The last one. All right, what killed over 8,000 people during a 4-day period in December of 1952? Was it one, Pearl Harbor, two, Ohio River flood, three, Great Smog of London, or four, Galveston hurricane? What killed over 8,000 people during a 4-day period in December of 1952? 1. Pearl Harbor. 2. Ohio River flood. 3. Great Smog of London. Or 4. Galveston hurricane. What was it? Was it the Pearl Harbor, Ohio River, Great Smog, or Galveston hurricane? What killed over 8,000 people? The Great Smog of London. What happened was it was a really cold time, just like a cold snap. My daughter is calling me. And, there was heat above, so it was a heat influx or inversion, I mean, an inversion. So the heat was on top and the cold air was on the bottom, and because it was so cold, they had had a cold snap for, like, few weeks, and so back then, it was after the war, their coal they had really bad coal. They burned coal, and it wasn't good. So, it held down because of the heat, the air couldn't get up, and people were dying because of their air quality. So, Amanda Panda. Yeah. Amanda Panda got first place. Wolfie got second. The Big Purple, came in right after Wolfie. And then Lexi, Wild Rose, and Mike. Good job. Good job, guys. Wow. Amanda Panda. Woohoo. That is so good. I'm so proud of y'all. I know, Amanda Panda. Yay! See, aren't you glad you were here? Good job. I know everybody did so good, especially because I mean, the 50s. People don't think about the 50s anymore. Oh, that was so good. Yay. I am so proud of y'all. And for those who are playing the replay, I mean, watching the replay, put in the comments, let me know how many you got. So I'd be very, very interested. I'm not a boomer. You don't have to be a boomer. That's why I did all different kinds of stuff. You do not have to put, and I put it in the pinned it. You do not have to be a boomer. You just have to, I mean, knowledge. You have knowledge. You like you like history. That's why I did all kinds of things. Like that last one to me was very interesting because I like weather and stuff. And that's what caused that was the weather and the bad coal. They had a really bad coal. And then that's when people started doing they started they oh, just environmental. They started paying attention to the air quality and all of that because the pollution was so bad. It was pollution that killed people. It's because the air quality was so bad. Now we get alerts for everything. So anyway, and I had to put in a lot of your basic stuff, like I had to throw in Lucy and all of that good stuff. So I am so proud of y'all. And if you didn't know, hopefully you learned something. That's always a good thing. So, Amanda, you get 3 tickets put in to our monthly drawing. Wolfie gets 2, and the Big Purple gets 1. And I'll put y'all into the drawing. And at the end of the month, you will be in there to possibly win $25 to anything in my store, which is our sponsor. So you need to go to Grandma's Gifts, the number 4 and the letter U.com and look at all the good stuff that I have in there. I just added some Easter stuff in there. There's some really cute stuff. I have an alien holding an Easter basket with Easter bunny ears stuff. And I just ordered me some. So so hopefully I'll get that one pretty quick so I could show y'all my alien Easter bunny. But, anyway, that was so much fun. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did. I do love doing these, and I learn stuff. Like, I didn't know some of that stuff. Y'all think I know all these things. You do not. But I do like you, Amanda, I love history. Now when I was younger, I I liked I love history. I've always liked history. I just don't like memorizing. I wanna know the story behind it. There's always a story. I wanna know, the the thing we just talked about, the killing of 8,000 people, the smog, London smog. That no, finding out why it happened and what caused it and all of that. Mike, you like the 1950s? Well, you should have been here earlier. You need to go back and watch it and see what you get right. Um, I'll do more 1950s. I'm gonna do 50s. I'll do 60s, 70s. I already done some 80s. I did some 90s. I'll do 2000. I mean, we got plenty of years. Plenty of years. I'm doing so Thursday is Harry Potter, and then the next Thursday is 80s rap. Somebody these are that's requested. Um, and then, so next Monday, so a week from today, I'm just doing just general knowledge. So that's all over. It's, everything. But, I love history. I didn't I failed it when I was in school because I had a teacher who, when I would ask questions, if it wasn't in his little spiral notebook, he couldn't answer it. In my head, I like to know why something happened and how things occurred and, all of that. I love that stuff. Like the Amelia Earhart, I know what it says, but I also know that there was controversy of someone else, and I wish I could remember that lady's name, but um, I know, I know, there was controversy of who actually did it. That's why I said we're going with what is in the record books right now. You were I was eating and playing, so you'll do better next time, okay. That's fine. But go back and, tell me how many you got right total, alright? I'll be curious how many you got right. So, we will do it again. We will do the 50s. Make sure you come with me and on Thursday and do Harry Potter, and you don't have to be a big Harry Potter fan. Just come in and guess because it's fun. So, anyway, well, I am gonna go over and turn on Words on Stream. And thank you to all of y'all who are playing. Lexi, I don't know if Lexi is dipped out or not, but she got into she's already into the drawing because of the Bible one, so she played that. Um, Mash, yes, yes. There's a lot of good trivia for MASH. There's a lot of good trivia about on MASH. Um, that's a good one. Um, I'm gonna do South Park. I said that the other night. I was like, "Oh, I gotta do South Park." I love South Park. Um, so I'll do South Park. That's a newer ones, but MASH is the older. The newer crowd isn't gonna know MASH like we do. There's so Andy Griffith. Oh, you've gotta do Andy Griffith, but then I'll do things like, that people want Game of Thrones. There were some other ones that people have been talking about. So, the only one that I know for sure that on a date is March 28th, I will be doing baseball history because that's opening day. So, I was like, "Ooh, perfect. It's a Thursday." So, Thursday, March 28th, I will be doing baseball history. So, be watching for that. So anyway, again, I want to say thank you so very much for coming and spending this time with me. All of you who actually played here live, Thank you for coming. I love it. Those of you who are watching on replay, I love y'all too. Um, and it is fun. You're right. It's fun. You're welcome. You're welcome, Wolfie. Congratulations, Amanda, Wolfie, and Big Purple. Um, I'll throw y'all into my box over here. I'm not gonna say pot. Y'all were saying I'll put it in my drawing. These are what was in there. Oh, you can see all my junk in there. Those are what was in there for the last one. So anyway, y'all have a good evening or day whenever this is that you're watching. And those of you who want to now come on over and me in blue. Thank you. This is more kind of a green, but it is a bluish color. Um, Come over and play Words on Stream with me. I'll be putting that up here in just a minute. All right. All right. Well, until next time. Mwah.